Hello and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Knits. My name is Rachel and this is my YouTube channel where I'd love to share with you about my current works in progress as well as potential whips and finally just random ideas that come to mind. Today I am feeling very fatigued as it is my first day of the AP reading. I am here in Cincinnati and it is my first time as an adult in this area. I think I came to Cincinnati as a kid. I know there was a family reunion here long ago, but I can't remember. But I'm very excited to serve again on the AP Reading Leadership Team to help support the development of the test outcomes. But the most important thing about this road trip is making sure that I have enough knitting projects with me. And so that's briefly what I'm going to chat with you about. I also would like to share with you by looking on my phone a couple of patterns that are hot to me that I thought will be a really fun opportunity for you as a knitter or crocheter to embark on. And then I would like to share about what other ideas I have for some upcoming projects that I'm hoping to get on my needles before I get too deep in the woods of summer and responsibilities. So for me in Massachusetts, we are in school until June 26th. So I'm a teacher, if I haven't said that yet, but I am a teacher and we're June 26th is our last day of school. So it has been a lot. And knitting has been like a saving grace for me. I've been feeling a little stress and not quite like myself due to my expectations for work, as well as the stuff I need to do for my own family. And I haven't really been prioritizing my own needs as well. And there's just been some unexpected events in my family. Fortunately, one of my family members who was ill is now healthy again. We're not healthy, but recovering, I should say, again. And I didn't know how much that weighed on me until I saw them in person a few weeks ago. So, but knitting has been something that has eased a lot of the anxiety I was feeling doing the travels, even traveling here. So, with that said, one of the things I wanted to start off with talking about my works in progress is the plane ride here from Massachusetts to Ohio. The turbulence was so horrible. This was just one of those flights where they told us before we took off that it was going to be a few turbulent moments and whatnot. And I didn't think it was going to be to that degree. I literally was holding on tight to the tray that's in front of you. And mind you, the other passengers was a large group of college soccer players. They slept right through it. One of them literally was asleep on my shoulder. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh. But what got me through it was this current project I'm working on, which are a pair of socks. So for this particular trip, I decided to pack one, two, three, four. Three potential knitting, sock knitting, and one definite sock pattern. So this is a pattern that I did like a hodgepodge. I saw this. So let me just go back. I saw this striped sock on Ravelry and I thought it was really cool. And I was like, oh, I think I want to cast that on. But the entire pattern was in German. And although I looked at the photos, it gave me some indication of like how many rows of the main color that they did in between the contrasting color. So then I looked in my Summer Lee sock book just to get an idea about doing a different heel as well as a ribbing cuff, and saw a few things. And I decided to do a 2x2 ribbing because I don't know, I thought it would be better than what I was thinking about doing. I typically do a 1x1, but I decided to try a 2x2. And I did a cast on of 64. Neither pattern like gave any indication of what to do in terms of casting on. And then from there, I did about, as you can see, one, two, three, four rows or four stripes before starting my heel. And I was going to do a waffle heel or a brioche heel. I saw a couple of those on a few knitting patterns that's in my queue to knit, but for whatever reason, my brain just could not process how to do it from top down. Both patterns I was looking at are from bottom up, and I just didn't have the mental capacity for it. My bandwidth was already stretched thin with the project. So I did my traditional shadow wrap heel. This one came out a lot better than what I thought it was because I was very distracted at the time. Like I said, I've been dealing with some anxiety. I don't know if I said that, but I've been dealing with some anxiety because of, my obligations as a wife, mother, and teacher. So I made this hill and couldn't believe like how amazing it came out, and it allowed me to process all my feelings, because it wasn't that I'm feeling anxious about work. Work is work, but it's that I can't give my attention to my family because I need to give it to my work, and I can't give my attention to my kids because I need to give attention to my immediate family or to my students. Like I feel like my attention is being pulled in so many different directions. And so as I was working on this sock, I was thinking about how I feel pulled in different directions, and how I feel like I don't, every time I think I have a handle on something, something else comes up. And I know it's something that other podcasters have shared about like their therapeutic knitting is, but it truly is. I feel a lot more. I felt so, how can I put this? I felt like lighthearted or uplifted as I got closer to the end of this, because as all the frustrations and anxiety and happiness and just all the different emotions I've been feeling for the last few, I would say about 3 or 4 weeks, I was able to channel into this very beautiful pair of socks. And I really am proud of how well the sock came out, because it was a labor of love, not because it was a challenging sock, because I was going through challenges. And it's just another reminder of how therapeutic knitting is, because where this part here was where I was at as the plane was going all dipping in all the other places, and I was just like, oh my God, this is too much. I don't want to fly. I hate flying. And I am so glad that I had this heel, or excuse me, this toe to do while I was on the plane, because it forced me to put my mental energy into concentrating, making sure I was decreasing on the right row and non-increasing on the other row while maintaining the stripe pattern. So all in all, this was such a wonderful little project to start and have half of it finished. And I decided to, on my lunch break today of the AP reading, to go ahead and cast on the second sock. I started casting it on actually right after I finished breakfast this morning, but I forgot I was doing a 2x2 ribbing, and I had did 1x1, and I had already had like 6 or 7 rows done, and I was like, man. So I frauded it, and now I'm starting over with the right amount of stitches with a 2x2 ribbing. So very pleased with that. So, in addition to working on these socks during my in between times on the breaks, I will also hopefully have the opportunity to spin. This is my first time traveling with my spinning with me. The room I'm in has a lovely setup where I have a very large space I can use to spin, which I love to do while watching documentaries. And again, during this interesting time period in my life as I was feeling various emotions, it was really nice to engage in that drafting and allowing it to turn into wool. So it was very comforting. It was this, I should call this current spin I'm doing my comfort spin, because every time I'm having thoughts, I've been able to channel it in such a positive way, and it feels so good to do. So I brought my spinning with me. I had the rosy sweater with me as well. The room I am in has a little side rocking chair, which I'm sitting in now, with the footrest. So it's perfect to knit the rosy sweater while watching television. I also brought with me my Seville dress, and it's located in the tote bag that I was successful in sewing when I went to Gather Here, which is a fabric/yarn store. Well, I should call it more of a craft store. And when I say fiber crafts, I think would be the best way to describe it. So, Gather Here, which is located in Cambridge, Massachusetts, is a wonderful craft store that offers opportunities to learn how to sew, how to knit, how to crochet. I believe they offer another class on weaving, but I'm not 100% certain on that. But I signed up for their tote bag class, and I'm so glad it was. The instructor did such a great job of teaching us to sew and aligning and how to follow along with the pattern directions. And it's a bag that's functional. Like, that's the part that kills me, that it's an actual bag that I don't have to worry about falling apart the second I put it on. So my Seville dress lives in this bag, and I will be working on that. In addition to the Seville dress, I also brought with me the yarn for another project if I were to cast it on. So the Colette top, which is a pattern by Sari Norland, is one I've had my eye on for over a year now. and I finally added it to my queue, and I'm just waiting. I added it to my queue and I purchased a pattern, so I just need to cast on. I initially cast on, but I don't like my tension, so I think I'm going to frog what little I did and go back to cast it on again. But I'm excited to work on that. And one other pattern, I'm just kidding, that's it. Those are the only three sweater or garment projects that bought with me. And then I have enough yarn if I wanted to knit multiple pairs of socks, I can do. While I'm here at the AP reading, everyone knows I enjoy knitting. It is no secret. Anytime there's a break in the reading, they see me with my knitting needles. And so a few of my peers wanted to know if we could do like a little knit night where I can show them how to knit. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I've never actually taught anyone how to knit. And am I that advanced now where I can show other people how to knit? I don't know about that. I did it once with one of my students because I don't know, I was just knitting in class for whatever reason that particular day. And he was like, I really need to learn how to knit. I'm like, all right, if you want to. And so I myself and another student showed him how to cast on, and he would just take breaks from whatever he was doing in terms of my classwork and would work on this little square that he ended up knitting. I should find out if he still does it. But anyway, I digress. I am very, very excited to, share this love. So what we're going to do, because we're in Cincinnati, we're going to go to a yarn store that's about 2 miles from where we're located, and it's open fairly late. And so it's open to 8 o'clock on Thursday. So we're going to go to the yarn store, give everyone a chance to browse and maybe pick a yarn that they might be interested in. And then after we do that, we're going to come back to the hotel and I'm going to show people how to do it as well. So it should be, I'm really excited. I think it will be a fun time to knit and teach people how to do it. The people that I'm here with the AP reading, we've known each other for 5 years now because the course is going into its 5th year, and we met before the launch of the palette. And so it's really great just to reconnect. It's almost like a family reunion, so to speak. So I'm really excited about the time I'm going to have this spend with them, and I'm excited to show them how to knit as well. So which brings me into some potential plans that I am thinking about. As we all know, ravelry can be a son of a biscuit. It's a blessing and a curse because you see patterns and you're just like, I want to knit it all. So I wanted to share with you a recent pattern that I came across that I'm like, I genuinely really want to cast this on, and it's totally outside of my element. So I'm going to scroll over to see if it's still there, and it is beautiful. So I'm not a big fan of lace because I don't do it well, but I love the way it looks. So I'm not a big fan of knitting it, but I love the way it looks. And I haven't done a lace pattern since last year, actually, when I did the love letter top. So I was, again, scrolling around on Ravelry and happened to notice this. So this is a fairly new pattern, and this is on Universal Yarn website. So I'm going to flash a picture of it. Hopefully you can see. I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I just saw that and I was like, wow, that would be a really fun pattern to do. I like how long the sleeves are. I definitely like the opening that or the intentional design on the side, and it takes DK weight yarn, so it allows you to, I think it will work up pretty fast because it's a 20 stitch 28 row gauge. You will use a US 6, which is a 4mm needle, I'm assuming, for the main body, and a US 4, which is 3.5mm, which is for the ribbing. So I think it would be perfect. The size range is actually pretty comparable to some other patterns I'm really excited about knitting, from extra small to 5X, which you need about 852 yards to 1,700 yards. So not too much. And the most important thing is that it's free. So I definitely want to potentially cast this on, and if I'm unsuccessful with the Carlotta top, which feels like that's going to be the case, at least I know I have that as a backup. The other item that is on my brain, I actually added it to my queue because I couldn't stop thinking about it. Once I saw it on Ravelry, I wanted to cast it on because I cleaned up my queue. I had way too many patterns there. I had like 4 pages of patterns, and I'm like, am I really going to cast on that many? But let me get to it. Scroll. So this is actually a crochet top um, as well. And here, I'm going to show you what this looks like. Isn't that pretty? So this is a crochet top that was designed by Tony Lipsy. And one of the reasons why I love this so much, it takes sport weight and it invites you to use a USG crochet hook or a 4mm crochet hook. You can use cotton, but it's definitely a yarn weight that you can potentially switch it out to more of a wool if you're looking for something more woolly. The size ranges from extra small to 5XL, which is a bust range between 34 inches to 66. Sorry, I bit my tongue, so my speech is not as coherent because it hurts a little bit to speak, but it's okay. But again, another reason why I wanted to put this on my needles is that I thought it would be so cute, and I love the length of the sleeves. I love the raglan increases that she has going on in the back. It's only $7.50, which is a very reasonable price as well. So that one is very high on my list in consideration. But then I was watching a YouTube channel. Which was it? Oh, goodness. Don't you hate that when you watch a podcast episode and you can't remember? It will come back to me, and hopefully I will put this in the description. But anywho, I was watching YouTube, as one does, while waiting in the airport. And one of the podcasts I was watching was talking about the Ravelry top. This is a free pattern on Ravelry, and I saw that and I thought it was so pretty. So one of the things that instantly drew me to this particular pattern here, I'm going to try to pull it up so you can see, was this little keyhole. And I've never done a keyhole before, but I've always wanted to. And what I like about it is that the front is all stockinette. So it breaks up the challenge of doing like lace down the back and the keyhole, like remembering your decreases or whatever it is that you have to do. But then you can successfully do stockinette. We can all do stockinette, you know? So I just thought it was really pretty. And I like the shaping around the neck because it has a little bit like a boat, and it's not like right there on your collar, because lately I haven't been liking high neck things, although I'm wearing a high neck t-shirt. So I really like that. And then the other thing I wanted just to point out with this, that this pattern also calls for a sport weight yarn, and this gauge is 24 stitches in 32 rows, and it calls for a US 4, which is a 3.5mm, or which I think is for the main body, and then for the ribbing it's a US 2.5, which is a 3.0 millimeter needle. So, and it's free. So yeah, when it was mentioned on the YouTube channel, I was like, oh my gosh. So those are the two patterns that I've been, going back and forth with. Like, maybe I don't want to cast on the Carlette top, and I want to cast that on, but I also really want the Carlette top. I think it's really pretty and elegant, and I love me some cables as well. But I really want to do another lace design as well, and the socks. So many socks. It's not even funny. Yeah, Denise DeSantis from our Turn Girl, she just came out with another sock pattern. So I'm like, oh man, now I got to consider that one. So many things to do. But those are the two potential whips that I would like to do. So we'll see if I will end up doing that. The final thing I wanted just to share with you all, other than my beautiful nails, check them out. I am really excited about a spinning project that I decided to do. So I've been going back and forth with myself about spinning sock weight yarn, and only currently I'm doing DK and worsted, but I really want to do like sock weight. And so as soon as I finish with my comfort spin that I'm doing right now, I'm going just to bite the bullet and I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do a sport weight, get the words, the sock weight spin. And I'm hoping I can get that started here. If not, I'll just get it started when I get back home. But that's my summer goal, to have successfully spun sock weight yarn. It's something I've been toying with and thinking about, but I'm like, you know what? If you don't just do it, then you're never going to know if you can do it. So I'm just going to go for it and give it a whirl as well. So with all that said, that is pretty much that's happening in my neck of the woods. I am listening to an audiobook that I'm a little frustrated with, that it's only 2 books in the series, and Now I have to wait until March till the next book comes out. It's the Shield of Sparrows series. It's actually entertaining. It reminds me a little bit of the Court of Thorns series. Yeah, it's one of those enemies to lovers type of situation. I thought she came out a little bit more forceful with the whole friction between the two characters that end up falling in love. They didn't really need to do all of all of that, like just like build up to it. But other than that, it's been a very engaging story, and it's a nice little break. Because I'm reading so many essays, I don't want to actually want to physically read a book, so I just been listening to my audiobook. Not that I've been here that long yet, but anyway, I'm going to start rambling, so I'm going to stop. And just bid you all a farewell, and just thank you so much for joining me for this quick little check-in on Friday Night Knits. My next filming should be in the next 2 weeks, and then I will catch you up then, because in 2 weeks from now, gonna be my last day of school, so we're gonna do a celebration. I don't know what that celebration is gonna look like. Probably sleeping, but we'll see. We'll go from there, and I'm going to just try to decompress, do some knitting, meet up with some of my AP reading friends, because everyone is reaching out, and I want to see what we're doing, and we'll see what we get into post reading. And then I will also share with you the tattoo, because as a tradition, we all get a tattoo together. Is what you do. Anywho, I hope that you all have a wonderful time crafting whatever it is that you're working on, whether it's knitting or crocheting, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.